I have determined that it is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. I've judged this course of action to be in the best interests of the United States of America and the pursuit of peace between Israel and the Palestinians.
With this statement, U.S. President Trump reversed 70 years of U.S. policy in the Middle East. He added that plans to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem are also underway, though the process might take a few years. Israeli President and Prime Minister hailed the announcement and encouraged other nations to also move their embassies.
Jerusalem's status is perhaps the most disputed in the world. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has added even more drama. Trump ended 7 decades of U.S. ambiguity on the issue, long fought over by Israelis and Palestinians. As expected, the move has rattled the Islamic world. Iran said serious repercussions would await the U.S. and Israel.
By doing this, they will be hit harder than before. The Islamic world will undoubtedly stand up to them. The enemy will absolutely be unable to achieve its desired goals on the issue of Palestine. Palestine will be liberated.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan had threatened to sever ties with Israel before Trump announced his decision. While meeting with the press in Ankara during a visit by Jordan's king, Erdogan warned the U.S. could create public unrest throughout the Islamic world.
Haberlerle ilgili üzüntülerimi bir kez daha ifade etmek istiyorum. Kudüs, Sayın Trump, Müslümanların kırmızı çizgisidir. Filistin halkının yaraları kanamaya devam ederken, her gün hak ihlalleri, zulümler, baskılar sürerken, İsrail'e destek mahiyetinde böyle bir kararın alınması sadece uluslararası hukukun ihlali değil, aynı zamanda insanlık vicdanına da vurulmuş ağır bir darbedir.
United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres reiterated that a two-state solution is the only way out.
In this moment of great anxiety, I want to make it clear there is no alternative to the two-state solution. There is no plan B.
The U.S.'s allies in Europe, including the UK, France, and Germany, have also expressed disagreement over Trump's announcement. Meanwhile, Canada said its embassy will remain in Tel Aviv, adding that Jerusalem's status can only be determined as part of peace talks.
In Palestine, however, hundreds of angry protesters took to the streets of Gaza and burned U.S. and Israeli flags, while Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas warned of dangerous consequences.
These denounced and rejected measures create deliberate constraints to all the efforts towards realizing peace and reflect the United States' withdrawal from practicing its role as a peace mediator.
Israeli sovereignty over the entire city of Jerusalem isn't accepted by the global community, and its status is considered an issue that should be resolved through negotiations between Israelis and Palestinians. Although Trump said the U.S. is not taking a position on how the city should be divided, leaders around the world expressed concerns that the move could widen the gap between Israel and Palestine.
Palestinians have issued a stern warning about the consequences of the U.S. plan to relocate the American embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem Al-Quds. The leader of Palestinian resistance movement Hamas said that Washington's move would be a dangerous escalation that crosses all red lines. Ismail Haniyeh stressed that the measure will enable, quote, the extremist regime of the Israeli Prime Minister to further Judaize the city. Hamas also called on all Palestinians to come out on Friday and mark it as a day of rage against the U.S. move. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas also described the move as unacceptable. The spokesman for the president said Abbas made some phone calls with leaders of Russia, France, Vatican, and Jordan, reiterating the position that Al-Quds is the Palestinian capital according to international and Arab resolutions and law. The Palestinian resistance movement Hamas has called for a new intifada or uprising in response to the U.S. recognition of Jerusalem Al-Quds as Israel's capital.
إننا نطالب وندعو وسنعمل على إطلاق انتفاضة في وجه الاحتلال الصهيوني. القرار الأمريكي عدوان على شعبنا، إعلان حرب على شعبنا الفلسطيني. أقول سيندم ندم شديد على هذا القرار.
Shots that you can hear. Israeli security forces trying hard, trying their best to stop Palestinians from protesting. Back there behind the smoke screen, you can see Palestinian protesters, some of them throwing stones. Well, this has been going on for almost a couple of hours, right after Palestinian leaders had pressers, had speeches in which they called the Palestinian people, the Muslim world, the Arab countries, to put aside their differences, to sit together, devise new strategies to counter Israel, and to protest against the recent U.S. decision and move in recognizing Jerusalem al-Quds as the Israeli capital.
President Trump's announcement on Jerusalem has a very worrying potential impact. It is a very fragile context, and the announcement has the potential to send us backwards to even darker times than the ones we are already living in. The European Union has a clear and united position. We believe that only realistic solution to the conflict between Israel and Palestine is based on two states.
French President Emmanuel Macron says he disapproves of the Trump administration's recognition of Jerusalem al-Quds as Israel's capital, calling it a unilateral decision. British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson also said the U.S. move will not help resolve the Palestinian issue. Meanwhile, the Russian Foreign Ministry expressed serious concern over Trump's decision, saying it threatens security in the Middle East. Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop also said Canberra will not relocate its embassy to Jerusalem al-Quds.